but us true hip-hop fans would have listened even if it was mediocre just because of who they are, so they didn't have to go all in on this, but they did. Subscribe. Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Brews and Reviews, and today I'm counting down my top 10 albums of 2021 so far, and I am sipping on a Cabin Boys Brewery Adventure Series. This is a German style porter coming in at 5%. This is actually a really smooth porter. I've been on this local tip lately, and this is from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I'm enjoying this beer. Actually one of the best breweries in town. So let's get into the best albums of the year. This was a really hard list to throw together, and we're only in June. I felt like there was so much good music that's come out this year already. I had to leave too many great projects off of the list, so right off, let me say honorable mention to both Conway projects. Benny the Butcher, Griselda represented. Those core dudes didn't make this list. Coda the Friend, Marlon Craft, all have been in my lists in the past, but this year, great projects just didn't make it. I wish I could have done a top 15, and I'm not looking forward to reevaluating this at the end of the year and leaving even some of these top 10 off. That being said, though, let's get into the countdown. At number 10, we got KAAN, KAIZEN, one of the hardest working rappers in hip hop. In fact, he puts out the consistent quality, much like Griselda, actually even more than Griselda, and he reinvents himself with every album. That's why I kind of gave him the edge here over Conway and Benny. This is a very enlightened, positive, very atmospheric album, at times on a jazzy tip, and he sends his positive message through his rapid flow. Great beats and guest spots on this as well, including Decca, Blue, the dude on my intro, R.A. the Rugged Man, and another dude that I met at that same show, Afro, all being on highlight tracks. The best tracks on this include DIY, Clock Out, Interstellar, and Rerun. Number 9, Talib Kweli and Diamond D, Gotham. And I was really surprised by this because we haven't heard a lot from Diamond D or Talib Kweli lately. However, these dudes' classic status is already solidified. Their body of work already proves who they are, and we weren't necessarily expecting something this great late in their career, but us true hip-hop fans would have listened even if it was mediocre just because of who they are, so they didn't have to go all in on this, but they did. And I think that the chemistry that they have working together really pulled out the best rhymes from Kweli and the best beats from Diamond D. And the beats did have an updated but still very boom bap feel, and Talib sounds just as poignant, if not more, than he did in 1998. Top tracks on this include The Quiet One, On Mamas, Sons of Gotham, and Attention Span. Number 8, Rome Streetz and DJ Muggs, Death and the Magician. This is another rapper producer combo, and it's a great formula that has worked here. I'm glad that Muggs chose to work with this underground cat, Rome Streetz, because his effortless flow makes us realize how great Muggs' beats still are. While Rome has been making a little bit of noise on underground circuits lately, I think this is really his breakout album, and with more consistency and quality like this album, he could one day be mentioned in conversations with the Conways and Freddys of the world. Top tracks on this include Zig Zag Zig, The Devil's Chord, Wheel of Fortune, and Horn and Halo. Number 7, Namir Blade and El Orange, Imaginary Everything, another rapper producer combo. Starting to see a pattern here, only this is one you probably didn't expect. This is a little bit out of left field. We've known El Orange for a while. He's been consistently producing bangers and introspective beats for the underground for a little while. Namir Blade is lesser known, but he has had some other projects that show that he does not care whatever the current rap trends are, that he's gonna do him and do something completely unique in the process, this album being the culmination of that. When I posted on Twitter a question about why no one was talking about this project and how great it was, Namir Blade actually replied, and he said, because they're listening to Big Time Rush. That's a funny response coming from the artist himself, but it goes deeper than that and shows that most listeners are actually just reaching for the latest pop trend and not trying to hear something that's truly alternative, unique, and innovative. Top tracks on this include Murphy's Law, Pipe Dream, Shotgun, and Nihilism. Number 6, Khrysis. It's been a little while since we heard a really good producer album, but I love producer albums when they're done right because they get the best talent and rappers to shine over these beats that they've been saving for themselves, and Khrysis does just that here. He's the classic Justice League producer, almost reinventing himself, and he got some of the best MCs in the game to deliver over these beats, and I'm talking about Ciroc, Rhapsody, Del the Funky Homo Sapien, Busta Rhymes, and the GOAT Pharaoh Monch. More on him in just a minute. But now, let me tell you, the top tracks on Khrysis' project are Negro Spiritual, Keep Walking On, The Return, and The Disrespect. Getting into the top 5 now, it's getting real. And at number 5, we have Thirtzen, A Magnificent Day for an Exorcism, a rock album with one of the best rappers of all time. Certified, actually, best flow in hip-hop history. And listening to this, even over the guitars and the hard drums, you can't deny that Pharaoh is still a master of vocabulary and breath control. Not to mention the clever wordplay, thoughtful lyrics, and soul that he pours into everything that he does. So why did he go for a rock sound on this? We know he's always been influenced by the genre because we've heard rock influence in his tracks going all the way back to Organized Confusion and certainly on all of his solo work. But I think more so the chaotic themes where he's talking about the problems and chaos that's going in the world right now lended itself a lot better to this louder genre, and that was the best sound to get his points across that he's pushing through with the concepts on this project. Top tracks include Colt 45, The Magician, 666, Scarecrow, and Amnesia. Number 4, Czarface and MF Doom, Super What. I was so glad to hear that this was Doom's first posthumous project because I was kind of nervous about what thrown together, half-finished rhyme project we were going to get. But this was something that apparently he actively participated in. They had already had this planned before his untimely passing, and it definitely shows the respect that Czarface has for the Doom for the man as an artist definitely shines through on this. They did the villain right, providing him with really good beats that he may or may not have written to, but the mixing makes it sound perfect. To me, this is actually better than their first collaboration project. And while INS could have been featured a little bit more on the project, Esoteric himself is in top form, as is Doom. And this is a nice addition to the Czarface catalog. Top tracks on this include Doom Unto Others, Jason and the Zargonauts, Breaking the Action, and So Strange. Skyzoo, all the brilliant things, and brilliant really is the word that you walk away with after hearing this album. In fact, I gotta say, while this is at number 3, Skyzoo is actually the top lyricist of the top 3. He executed a concept that was very personal to him, and he delivers that concept in a nuanced way that you know that he is a real person in the way that he thinks about this. The concept is about the gentrification of Brooklyn, a place where he grew up and lives, a place that is very personal to him, that is changing, and you can feel exactly what he's feeling through his lyrics. This is one of the truest albums I've heard in a while. Although he's not one of the most flashy MCs, some of what he's doing here is so technical but smooth that you don't even notice it. Top tracks on this include Bed-Stuy is Burning, Culture-ish, I Was Supposed to Be a Trap Rapper, and Free Jewelry. Now it's getting really tough. I was going back and forth on the top 2 when I was writing this, and either one of them really could be number 1. And I still might flip-flop that by the end of the year, but right now, number 2 is Hus Kingpin Portishus. And this was hard because Portishus came out early on in the year, and no matter how good other projects were that dropped, many of that I've mentioned here, they just couldn't top Portishus throughout the year. These beats create such a vibe, even though they were created by different producers, even though they don't all sample Portishead, it is the same vibe throughout, and that to me is a testament to Hus Kingpin's ear. And as an MC, he is the most abstract, poetic, hardcore MC that I think I may have ever heard. So much of this meshes to make it a near flawless album, even the guest appearances that somehow he gets to match his style and his vibe. This is also a long album at 20 tracks. At least it's supposed to be long, but it doesn't feel that way, which is a true testament to the artistry that Hus Kingpin is putting in, because in this day and age of short attention spans, this one does not feel long at all. Top tracks on this include Meet the Poet, Ageless, Dark Morning, and Who Made You Look. Number 1. So I left Conway and Benny off the list. I didn't want to. I liked all of their projects that have dropped this year, but I did include a Griselda project, and it's right here at number 1, and that is Mach-Hommy's Pray for Haiti. And first off, I gotta admit that I reviewed this right. Track by track, I said what I needed to say about it, but I ranked it wrong. I gave it a 7 out of a 12 pack, and I knew that I would run into this problem when I first started reviewing albums on YouTube, because truly innovative albums take a while to sink in. Some of the best albums that I've heard in my life, I didn't really get on the first listen because they were different. It's easy for something that you've heard before to click, but it's not going to transcend that classic type of rating. And when something does go beyond classic status, it does take a while to click. So while I'm not ready to call this project beyond classic, it had so many nuances that I didn't hear the first day that I have heard since. So I'm re-ranking this right now as a 10 out of a 12 pack. So much worked for this, for the enigmatic MC. Incredible beats curated by West Side Gun on this, perfect sequencing that I think he had a big hand in. Some of the best beats here provided by Conductor Williams. Even the guest spots by West Side Gun, who I don't always enjoy as a rapper, really worked for this project, but it is really the unique delivery and unique voice and focus on bars from Mach-Hommy himself that make this a standout project. If you really listen, he gives meaning to every single line, and something that I did get right on my original review is I said it will take multiple listens to decipher all the wordplay and bars that he has going on here. So this is why this is my #1 project of the year so far. Top tracks on this include The 26th Letter, The Stellar Ray Theory, Marie, and Murder Season. Thank you for watching my countdown of the top 10 projects of the year. If you like this, go ahead and hit like now and hit me up in the comments. If you didn't like it, also let me know why in the comments. I drop hip-hop and hops related content consistently, so subscribe to my channel now, and until I see you next time, peace blessings. Fucking man says subscribe.
But if he's on his channel saying that somebody's album is better than mine, unsubscribe to that motherfucker.
No, your album's the best, man.
There you go. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe.